Hey, good afternoon. This is James. Welcome to the channel. We're doing a series on sanctification on Saturdays. And so this verse today that we're going to cover is Colossians 3:1. Now, I did get this series from BibleStudyTools.com, so I'm not claiming that I put all of this together. In fact, where's the cover? The cover looks something like this. So we are at week number 6, Colossians 3, verse 1. Let me make a note of that. Next week we'll cover Colossians 3:5. But Colossians 3:1 says, and I do believe this is the NIV, that's the article. It says, since you have been raised with Christ, set your hearts on things above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. A lot of times as people, we don't set out to do bad things. A lot of times we get distracted by other things that aren't necessarily bad. But I mean, just like myself today, I got up, I started watching some FCS football. I have a great amount of respect for the folks up at North Dakota State and what they've been able to accomplish over the last 10 years. And before I knew it, then I'm watching the Army-Navy game, and it's 3 o'clock, and I got a bunch of stuff I got to do, including make this video. So I got distracted today, and it happens to the best of us, and we have to be on our guard because Satan will try to distract us with things of this world. And we have to be diligent about wanting to serve God, wanting to do what he wants us to do, and not letting the things of this world distract us. I can tell you it's 3 in the afternoon, and I haven't gotten anything done today except eat lunch. So, here I am basically asking you to just learn from my mistakes. You got to be diligent. You've got to not let things of this world distract you. I've got a list of things I've got to do, and I haven't accomplished much today because I got distracted and I didn't set my hearts on things above. I didn't do that. Now, granted, I'm repenting. I'm going to put on a different coat, and I'm going to go to Lowe's, and I've got a project I need to take care of. And then tonight I'm going to iron some clothes for next week because, I always try to look good at work. So the bottom line here is that you can't let the world distract you. Now, I believe, and I can say this with some certainty, that if you look at the parable of the talents, not the parable of talents, I wasn't planning on talking about this, so I'm kind of winging this part. The parable of the sower. Since I do have my Kindle right here, I guess I could look it up, but the parable of the sower is very interesting. I believe, there it is, Matthew 13. I was right. All right. The thing about the parable of the sower, there's 4 different types of soils. There's where he says he threw some seed by the wayside, then he threw some seed in the stony places, and then he threw some seed amongst the thorns, and then he threw some seed on good ground. Now, a lot of people will tell you that if this is a parable and we're talking about 4 different types of people, that the only one of the 4 is saved is the last one. And I beg to differ. I truly believe that the 3rd one is saved. Because if you look at the explanation later on in the chapter, and I'll go more into this when we get to our series on Matthew, which is on Tuesdays, that it says, now, verse 22, now he who receives seed among the thorns is he who hears the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becomes unfruitful. I believe that that is a Christian who gets distracted by the things of this world and does not. I need to move the camera back here. They're the ones that get distracted by things of this world. I believe that that person's saved. I believe that they're missing out on things. They're missing out on blessings that God could provide them. They're missing out on being a part of doing God's will. And I can show you examples of people that chose not to do God's will, and God used someone else to accomplish his will. It's not a surprise. If we do something bad, it's not a surprise to God. If we get distracted by things of this world, it's not a surprise to God. God will just use somebody else, and we miss out on being a part of that blessing. And we won't actually realize the full extent to it until we get to heaven. In 1 Corinthians, it talks about our rewards. There are rewards. There are things in our life that Paul calls wood, hay, and straw, and they get burned up in the flames. And then there's other things that survive the flames. You know what? Since I brought it up, I might as well talk about it. It's 1 Corinthians 3. I learned about this many, many, many years ago. He says in 1 Corinthians 3, verse 12, now if anyone builds on this foundation, gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, or straw, each one's work will become clear, for the day will declare it, because it will be revealed by fire, and the fire will test each one's work what sort it is. Verse 14, if anyone's work which he has built on it endures, he will receive a reward. If anyone's work is burned, he will suffer loss, but he himself will be saved, yet so as through fire. So the person that gets distracted, unfortunately, like I got distracted earlier today, but that's just a couple hours. I'm talking about their whole life. The person that gets distracted by the things of this world, but is still saved, they're missing out on rewards when they get to heaven. So we want to be more diligent. Like, I'm going to be more diligent about getting the stuff I need to done today. We want to be more diligent about doing the will of God in our lives. And so, didn't plan on doing the video like this, but I literally realized that, hey, I can use my unfortunately bad example to this day so far as an example to say, all right, when you get distracted, repent, and then do the right thing, and then you'll be okay. So next Tuesday we'll be doing more of Matthew 15 or Matthew chapter 10. Now we did verse 10. We did verse 16 through 26 on the podcast, and so we'll do verse 27 probably to 33 on next week's video, and then most likely we'll do 34 through 42 to finish out the chapter on the podcast next Thursday. So until then, I hope you have a great weekend. Take care, and I love you guys, especially my subscribers, and I'll see you next week.